Here's an article from the Gospel Coalition written by Russell Moore saying that Jesus had HIV/AIDS. Yeah, you heard me correctly. An article put out by the Gospel Coalition written by Dr. Russell Moore. And by the way, 99 times out of 100, if a pastor or a quote-unquote Christian leader, there's a few exceptions, but if they have their PhD and they go by the Reverend Doctor or Dr. Russell Moore, there's 99 times out of 100 they're going to be liberal or progressive. And that's the situation here. So the Gospel Coalition, TGC, has put out an article saying that Jesus, the Lord of Glory, had AIDS. It's absolutely sickening. This is from the Dissenter website. Russell Moore claimed that Jesus had AIDS in an article at the Gospel Coalition. So I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this article. It says, before his departure, Russell Moore was arguably the most polarizing figure in the Southern Baptist Convention, notorious for his extreme leftist activism and controversial stances on numerous issues, from his soft support of homosexuality to his advocacy for open borders and animal rights. Moore has certainly pushed the most radical left-wing agenda the denomination has ever seen. His promotion of critical race theory, acceptance of leftist donations from figures such as George Soros, and defense of the transgender community have only fueled the fire. Moore's championing of the evangelical feminist movement, lobbying for more refugees during the COVID-19 pandemic, and claim that the Bible affirms gender fluidity have also drawn sharp criticism. Now you might wonder, how is a guy like that even accepted within evangelical Christianity? Well, I'll just say this. If that's what evangelical Christianity is, then count me out. I'm not an evangelical if that's what evangelicalism has become. But, I don't believe this man is an evangelical. With his divisive views and actions, the article says, Moore has become one of the most contentious figures in mainstream evangelicalism. But it seems that we've missed something. And thank you to the evangelical dark web for digging this up and exposing it. This is a rather old article back in 2009 where Russell Moore published an article in the Gospel Coalition. This is still on their website today, where Russell Moore states that Jesus Christ has HIV/AIDS. Again, it's blasphemy. It's blasphemy. Well, how can he say that? Of course, he's trying to be clever. He's trying to make a bigger point, right? Is he spiritualizing it? Like, he doesn't mean it literally. He's making a spiritual point. Well, there's no excuse for it. In the article, Moore claims that Jesus identifies with the suffering of the world, including those suffering from HIV/AIDS. And therefore, the church should care for them. And by the way, let me just stop here. That's really what Russell Moore is trying to do. He's trying to make space, as they say. He's trying to garner sympathy for the so-called LGBTQ community. That's really the play here. That's the scam. That, well, Jesus had AIDS in a sense, so, there's people who suffer from AIDS, and you love Jesus, you should embrace them too. You should accept them. That's the scam that he's running. So he says that Jesus identifies with the suffering of the world, including those suffering from AIDS, and therefore the church should care for them, acknowledging that some readers may be skeptical or angry about the idea of Jesus having AIDS. Well, you think? You think that'll make some people mad, writing an article saying Jesus Christ has AIDS? Well, that might make someone upset, Russell Moore says. Well, you better believe it's going to make people upset. And of course, he knows that, and that's why he's doing it. That's why these people do this. They want to kind of poke their finger in the eyes of Bible-believing Christians. So, a traditional Bible-believing Christian who loves the Lord, believes every word of the Bible, these people ultimately, they have contempt for the average, you know, evangelical. So they just kind of want to spit in their eye, and that's what this is. So while Russell Moore acknowledges that some people might be angry about this article, Moore argued that it helps Christians understand the need to care for the marginalized and proclaim the gospel to them. Jesus loves the world, and the world has AIDS, Moore wrote. Jesus identifies himself with the least of these, and many of them have AIDS. Therefore, Jesus calls us to recognize him in the depths of suffering, and there's AIDS there too. Russell Moore concludes on the Gospel Coalition website in his article, and he says, Jesus has AIDS. And then the article on the dissenter concludes how this is wrong on so many levels, etc., etc. Yeah, it is. This is wrong on many, many levels. Number one, it's not true. Number two, it's blasphemy. And the point he's making, number three, is just dumb. I mean, if you want to make an argument that, you know, you should reach out to people that are suffering, I mean, you can do that. You can make that point. And if someone repents of that lifestyle, they come to faith in Christ, and they're suffering from a disease, of course, Christians should comfort them. And I don't think you're going to get that much opposition with that. But you don't say that Jesus had HIV/AIDS. So that's pretty bad. I mean, of all the things the Gospel Coalition has ever done, this may be the worst. So who is, or what is, the Gospel Coalition? I remember there's a church, they brought their elders to be trained by the Gospel Coalition. I heard about it. I thought, oh no, that's not a good sign. Going in the wrong direction. And yeah, TGC, Gospel Coalition, was founded by Tim Keller, who is theologically liberal. Tim Keller, in one interview, he said that if you have white skin, you are part of the problem. So he buys into the whole white privilege, critical race theory thing. Tim Keller does not take the Genesis creation account literally. Tim Keller denies the worldwide flood of Noah. Tim Keller is making space for what is called gay Christianity, also called side B Christianity. And people that have written for him would include Karen Swallow Prior, Sam Alberry, who is a same-sex attracted gay priest, who, you know, their whole argument is that you can be a Christian and still identify as, you know, gay or lesbian or transgender, even though the Bible, our new identity is supposed to be in Christ. You know, if somebody converts and they still have a besetting sin, you know, nobody identifies as a bank robbing Christian. Nobody identifies as I'm a lying Christian. That's my identity. I'm just a liar. No, you repent of that and you now identify as a Christian. But Tim Keller is trying to make space for what is called gay Christianity. In one interview he did, Tim Keller said it is misleading to call LGBT a sin. So you can't even really say homosexuality is a sin because that's just misleading. Well, how is it misleading? So this is what Gospel Coalition is all about. It's basically left-wing propaganda founded by Tim Keller, who is into critical race theory, again, doesn't take the Bible literally, and is compromised on the major issues of our day that really matter. You know, he's compromised and he's being conformed to this world. So that's the Gospel Coalition. Writing for the Gospel Coalition, TGC, Russell Moore says that Jesus Christ, the Lord of glory, has AIDS. Absolutely, absolutely sickening.